Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article titled, Why Men Don't Have Balls Anymore. And guys, this article is written by a young woman, and the whole point of her whole article here is to basically complain that men don't have the guts to do these outrageous gestures and pursue women like she thinks they ought to do, like they do in movies and TV shows and shows like The Bachelorette, where guys are doing all these ridiculous things to win her approval and things like that. And I chose this because, aside from the fact that it's funny and a double standard, as you're going to see, it goes once again to show you how, by and large, most women have no clue what they emotionally respond to. You got a lady like her that says that she wants to be pursued and have guys do these grand gestures to win her heart. And what usually happens is that if guys do that stuff, they're going to be perceived or labeled acting like a stalker or trying too hard or something like that, and it's going to completely backfire. And I'm sure some of you guys have done things like this when you were younger, or even now maybe, because you know, that's what you saw on TV and movies and it worked. Or you listened to some girl that you knew in your family or friends and did that, and guess what happened? It didn't work. Meanwhile, the guys that don't do that stuff, they make out like bandits when it comes to women. So I'm going to go through this here, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. And by the way, you're going to see as I go through this, guys, you're going to notice that a lot of the things that she complains about, that she says that guys do, are the same exact thing that women are notorious for doing. Isn't that interesting? Total double standard, but you'll see what I'm talking about. So, article starts off, call me old-fashioned, but I believe men should go after what they want. Maybe I'm nostalgic for a time that never was. But whatever happened to romantic gestures and bold moves? Whatever happened to a guy going after a girl until she agreed to give him a chance? In other words, the same crap you see in the movies and TV. The guy will just pester her and chase after her until she finally breaks down and goes out with him. And of course she loves him then. That's what they show in the movies and TV. It's bullshit. I know that The Notebook is coming to your mind as you roll your eyes in disgust, imagining some Drake type confessing his love for the neighborhood chick, but it's only corny if we make it corny. I think it's heroic to throw yourself out there, to demand to be reckoned with, even if that means getting turned down. It shows masculinity and bravery to fight for something you want. There's nothing wrong with going for what you want. I encourage every guy here to go for what you want. But I don't encourage you to act like these idiots in these movies and TV shows that make asses of themselves, and guess what? It ain't going to get you anywhere. Go after what you want in terms of your goals, your ambitions, and things like that. And if you see a woman you like, because from plenty of you guys that date, ask her out, have the balls to do so in a confident manner, but don't stand out in front of her door with flowers and signs and boomboxes like John Cusack and say anything and things like that. Don't do that bullshit. She goes on, men stand by waiting for women to come to them. When they see something they want, rather than doing everything in their power to attain it, they wait by, hoping it will fall into their laps. Whatever happened to grand gestures? When did men stop caring about love and start caring so much about their egos? Hey, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's another group that cares a lot about their egos. Can you imagine who? Ego seems to be the root of it all. Men refuse to shed their pride even in front of women. They refuse to let their friends see them make fools of themselves, even if it means being denied a real woman. But don't they understand they are just denying themselves that slim opportunity for real happiness? They're letting their pride get in the way before they even have a chance to fail. So in other words, she's saying, if you don't do all these grand things, that's it, it's over, you're not going to have a chance. Give me a break. It's an epidemic of cowardice, and women are getting fed up. It seems that these days the only real way to get a date is to ask the man himself. In the name of feminism, I believe it's fine for a woman to ask men out, but sometimes that girly part of me can't help but wish to be courted. Maybe we were raised on too many Audrey Hepburn films, but whatever happened to the guy who can't live until he gets the girl? A guy can't live to get the girl. Those guys are a certain type of guy, and those guys don't get the girl. And those are the type of guys that the girls don't want anyway. Give me a break. I've never seen an Audrey Hepburn movie, and I have no intention of seeing an Audrey Hepburn movie. She goes on, Why is our generation denied the dinner dates and romantic surprises? Women may have high expectations, but men don't seem to have any at all. So speaking for women everywhere, here's a list of the possible reasons men have lost their balls. Damn, this girl's bitter. I looked up her picture, and in my view, she looks like she's maybe in her late 20s, early 30s. And in that picture, based on that one picture, she's not bad looking. So it shouldn't be hard for her to get guys. But, who the hell knows? But she wants the fairy tale. And fairy tales are fairy tales for a reason. It's not real life. So she's going to break this down to all these reasons. First one, Drake. They hate him because he's soft, but they all listen to his music, even if they deny it to their friends. But what is it about Drake that turns guys off so much? Suddenly when a guy does something sweet for a girl, he's known as the Drake type. It's like this man became an icon for everything men don't want to be. Don't guys realize that Drake still gets more tail than any of them? Women not only don't care that he talks about his feelings, they also get wet to it. Think about it. Okay, Drake is a singer and a very well-known and high-status singer, not to mention rich. So I've told you guys about status. So this guy could literally look like the Elephant Man and he would still get women, okay? If you have high status, if you're famous, you're going to get women. The wrestler Andre the Giant, going back many decades ago, that guy notoriously slept with women all the time. They were beating down his door, even though the guy wasn't exactly the best looking in the looks department. Why? Because he was a big, gigantic, 7-foot+ tall guy who was the best wrestler and famous, right? Or Notorious B.I.G. That guy was butt ugly, but he got plenty of women. See? Status. There's a reason that Drake gets all that tail, because of status and the money he has. Okay? And maybe he's really charming and cool, but believe me, those two other things definitely help. So he can sing about all this crap and it doesn't make a difference. Your average guy, on the other hand, does not have the status of Drake, nor even close to his money. So, he's not going to get, it's not an accurate comparison here. Next one, they think they will have another chance. They think that connections will keep happening. They think that meeting girls they like will be a recurring theme throughout their lives. They don't understand that finding someone worth liking is rare and doesn't happen every day. They could be throwing away the one shot to be with their soulmate because they think they might run into her again, or that there are plenty of other girls like her out there. But when they're 30 and still chasing 20-something bimbos at the bar, hoping they'll find her again, she'll be off with the one guy who had the balls to pursue her. Guess what? There is no the one. That is nonsense. It's a myth. There are plenty of options out there. So when she talks about the 20-something bimbos, guess what? There will always be 20-something bimbos at the bar to pick up. But there are also plenty of women out there, okay? Endless opportunities for those of you guys that do that. Go for that. If you have your shit together, you take care of yourself, you have a fucking personality, you got plenty of options. So this is nonsense that you're going to blow the opportunity and your life is over because you didn't do some ridiculous grand gesture and throw your coat over a puddle and have her walk over it, or whatever the hell grand gesture this lady has in mind. Guys, do not listen to this crap. Listen to me. Next one. They bruise easily. Their egos are Their egos are easily bruised. When women get a broken heart, they cry about it and try to move on. With men, the minute one girl breaks their hearts, they are tainted forever. They lose trust in all women and make sure never to put their hearts out there again. But that's not how you live life. You must appreciate the love you once had and hope that you can find it again. Well, there are a lot of people, and it goes both ways, men and women, and they get hurt really bad one time, and that's that, okay? But a lot of people, they get back on the horse and keep going. But they never forget that hard lesson of that heartbreak. Next one. They're entitled. Men these days seem to think they should have everything handed to them. They believe that because they are the alphas, they shouldn't have to do any work. It's like when the lioness is expected to hunt for the males. But when did men begin to think of themselves this way? When did they start needing to be coddled and taken care of? Oh, for goodness sake. Women do this too. And again, you're not, just because you're not doing these outrageous things doesn't mean you're not going to ask her out. But again, you're not doing these outrageous things. Next up, social media. You can't keep blaming social media for your problems, but in the game of love, it's definitely a factor. Men have become so desensitized to women because they are everywhere now. They think they just don't need to work hard to get women when they can easily just Facebook message the next girl they see posting a selfie. Oh gee, well who else does that? Come on here. But it's good guys have lots of options. We're allowed to have lots of options too, you know. This young lady's definitely been burned. Next one, mama issues. They were babied by their mothers for too long and now truly believe they are the best people in the world. No girl could ever be good enough for them, and they have yet to find a woman who will ever love them the way their mommy does. They expect to be praised, coddled, and tucked in at night. Well, again, we can talk about the women with the daddy issues, and they no one will be ever as good as their father if they have a good relationship with their dad. How about that? Next one, the edible complex. You are what you eat. I have no idea what she means by that. Maybe somebody can explain it to me. Next one, they don't know what they want. And women do. They just want to have sex for the rest of their lives. That's it. Marriage is outdated, marriage is stupid, and real men never settle for one woman. But just because you don't want to marry her doesn't mean you can't date her. We understand that marriage is becoming an outdated institution, but shouldn't that just be more reason for grand gestures? No, it's not more reason for grand gestures because those grand gestures aren't going to get you anywhere. The woman will then have a restraining order put against the guy that she doesn't like for him to keep doing these grand gestures and pursuing her. Doesn't work that way, you know? But again, if a guy wants to basically have one-nighters and hookups the rest of his life, that's his choice to do so. Don't look down on him. Because guess what? There are plenty of women that are like that too. Or if a lot of guys want to just be serial monogamous, that's their choice too. What doesn't work for her, what works for her is going to, what doesn't work for her may work for somebody else. Everybody has that freedom of choice, at least here in the US of A. Last one, porn. It's a common case of overindulgence. They can whack off whenever they want and don't need real women anymore to fulfill their whims and desires. But beyond that, it's the constant inundation of women in subservient positions. Men begin to see women only in this way, believing they are nothing more than sexual props. Well, I'm not even going to touch that one. But anyhow, guys, this is a quick article. I thought it was entertaining to read and show with you guys. And again, like I told you, most women don't get what they emotionally respond to. If a guy did all these things, most of the time, it ain't going to work out well. The only way doing these extreme gestures and all that crap works is if the woman is really hot for the guy anyway, and he's got some status and some money, he's very charming and charisma, and she likes him. In her eyes, he's at least an 8 or above. Okay, and he can do some of that crap and she'll find it great. But if she saw the guy as a 4 and wasn't into him at all and he was doing that crap, she would consider it to be over pursuing, then eventually stalking. See what I'm talking about here? It all boils down to how she sees you. But trust me, guys, at the end of the day, do not do the crazy over pursuing. Don't do all these dramatic gestures. It's not going to get you anywhere, and it could get you a restraining order, and you don't need that crap. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know, at some point, did you ever do this extreme gesture crap? Did you ever over pursue? What happened there? Did it end well for you? Let me know. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.